Hello, my YouTube peoples. Today I've decided to do something special. In my downtime, I'd like to watch YouTube Shorts, and one of the few that I like to watch is skits from a YouTuber by the name of Moonsven. If I'm pronouncing that right, I apologize if I don't. Who has been playing Pokemon Infinite Fusion. So because even if I did own Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, I don't have a card capture or know how to use it, I decided to play this instead. Links down below, and please hit the subscribe and bell icon for more content. Well, we start this interesting game by making our trainer card, which is really cool because it allows you to increase our age. So naturally I hit it up for, 17 years old. After naming myself Sheldon, because why not, we start the new game with Scytheco promoting a new item stolen from Kyurem, the DNA Splicers, which allows you to fuse random Pokemon together. This won't be abused whatsoever. And you proceed to go downstairs to finally get your certified official trainer's card. Wow, that only took like 7 years. What do you expect when your government's run by 4 people and one of them is an old lady, one step in the grave, and the other being a meathead, and one of them being a bloody cheat? Kinda like the politics in real life. Huh. Well, anyways, you meet your mother and sister, who was just as annoying as my real life siblings. I'll let you ponder on which one. Mother tells us that our best friend, who I named Bells, the counter to my Diablo's name, because why not? And like the original Blue Games from childhood of old. Commenting on how funny they decided to make someone of low caliber an official trainer. Hey, Bells, don't put yourself down like that. It's okay. Well, anyways, he basically talks about how his grandfather's going to give him his first Pokemon and runs off to his lab. I decided not to do that and go into the grass instead, only to be stopped by Professor Oak because he explains how dumb that was. And we go to his lab to get my first Pokemon. Naturally, he tells me to pick first. Bells complains how he doesn't just get to pick, and Oak tells him to shut up. Well, no wonder Bells have self-confidence issues. Oak treats him like crap. And here we go with my first of many, many mistakes. I picked the starter Charmander. This will be a problem later, as you'll see why. I named him Timaeus after my first Charizard in my original Blue and X-Play, which is a reference to a filler arc in Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, afterwards, Bells takes the remainder starters, yes, as in both of them, and takes all the DNA Splicers from Oak and merges Bulbasaur and Squirtle together to create Squirtlesaur? To make his first steps to make a super Pokemon known as Venustoise. Dick. Naturally, we battle and I win. Bells runs in defeat, declaring it was luck. And apparently, his grandfather, in his old age, forgot to pick up a package of Viridian Cereity, which he came from. Anyways, on our way there, I encounter our first Wild Fusion. And it's a sleep paralyzation of a combination here, because it's a Rattata fused with a Hoot. And I kill it with fire and move on. After getting the package, the clerk gives me a free DNA Splicer, and I return to Oak, who basically comments on the DNA Splicer and gives us the Pokedex. And outright says that, probably don't try to fill the Pokedex because it's kind of gotten very big, considering you can fuse any Pokemon together to make a Dex entry. Yeah, I'm glad the game calls this out, because if they expected to fill this up, oh man. Now I try to go catch some Pokemon. I first encounter a Tangela, that is the second of my mistakes, and proceed to kill it on accident. Then instead I catch a Weedle, naming it Vesper, and a Caterpie, and then a Pidgey. I fuse the two bugs together to make a cool evil looking bug Pokemon. I make my third mistake by fusing Timaeus with the Pidgey. I'll explain why this is a mistake later. Now, the fusion mechanic's really cool. You fuse the Pokemon together, I'm assuming their stats increase, I really didn't check to confirm this, but you're also able to pick between the fusion material's abilities and their natures, and combine their moves if you decide not to keep their moveset, which I find really useful. And the fusions actually don't look that horrible. And besides, there's actually custom sprites in here, which I think we see a few, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. But not only that, the way the fusion mechanic works is they evolve when the individual fusion materials used for the fusion reach those certain levels. So for example, if you have a Pokemon that evolves at level 8, and a Pokemon that evolves at level 10, they both will still evolve at those levels, making fusion Pokemon have multiple stages of evolution, which you will experience when I talk over about Vesper when he evolves into multiple stages. Next, now I decide to go meet up with our depressed friend Bells on the subsequent route. He decides the battle only to be defeated by my Timaeus, and he claims he's going to the Pokemon League to join the government or something. I run after him, knowing if he steps foot in there, his depression will be increased by a severe amount, considering how bad he already feels about himself. But before we can get past, we are stopped by the gym leader Brock, who he explains that we can't get by until we get 8 badges, and that he would be the first gym since we came from Palatown and we're near Pier City. To get there, we need to get through Viridian Forest. In the process of beating every trainer and wild Pokemon I come across, for some reason the encounter rate in this game is very, very high. My fusion bug evolved into its 3rd and 4th stages, evolving into Metadrill. When reviving Pretty Fusi, I go to the museum to answer some questions about fossil Pokemon and make Timaeus learn Mud Slap, which I hope would cover for the great mistake I caused earlier. Now on to Brock. Now, if you mentioned I made some mistakes, and we'll get to them real easy. His 2 trainers, I guess is what we'll call them, go down with no problem. Brock, on the other hand, his fusion Pokemon have, the rock attribute because, that's what he's the Pokemon gym leader of. Pokemon fans that are watching this at any point are probably face-palming knowing what's about to happen. I get my ass handed to me. My Vesper Metadrill, whose Metadrill holds its own pretty well, but still falls to the Pidgey Geodude fusion. And as soon as I threw Timaeus out there, one rock-type move ensures that Timaeus never speaks again. Now, the way to fight a gym leader is actually pretty cool. You are restricted to the same amount of Pokemon they are, so since Brock uses 2 Pokemon, you are restricted to only using 2 Pokemon as well. I attempt to go fight him one more time just to see if I can do it, and fail again. So my next step was to train even more. Knowing that my Metadrill will evolve again soon, I go fight the trainers on the route to Mount Moon, and it does evolve into a Butterdrill, which quickly becomes my strongest Pokemon on the team for quite a while. After fighting Brock and losing again, making it this time to at least his Diglett and Onix fusion, which kills all my Pokemon with ease, I decide to take a break and go actually explore Preview City, which brings on another neat mechanic for this game. You go to the hotel, not only can you basically use it as a Pokemon Center but paying, but you can also rest there for a couple hours to change the time so you can catch your exclusive night Pokemon. I go there, and there's actually quests upstairs. I talked to the scientist who said, hey, if you do at least one quest, I'll give you something neat. Which I proceed to go in there and do. The first quest I am given is to go get some tiny mushrooms for her soup. I decide to do this, and I go to Viridian Forest, only to not get the mushrooms I need, but I did capture a Paras, thinking it's a grass type and a bug type. So, with my Paras, I come up with a interesting idea. The Pokemon Center near Mount Moon. By going over to the Pokemon Center near Mount Moon, I take the scam and buy the Magikarp, knowing that it's a water type. And then on my way there, I capture a Cleffa, the pre-evolution of Clefairy. By this, I come up with a interesting idea. At this time, I fuse my Clefairy and my Paras together to create Clefairis, and this is probably one of the very few instances that I can definitely tell that this is the original sprite, because I love this fusion, and I quickly start training it up to where I can get it to at least match up against Brock's Pokemon. Also, I go back to see if I actually need like 3, or how many of those little mushrooms I need, and yes, I need 3, and I only have 1, so I gotta do the other quests. One of them is to find a revive medicine that this poor kid left on a bench, and the other one is to show this bug catcher the ultimate bug Pokemon. I show him my superiority by showing him my Vesper, and he gives me a Pineco Pokemon in exchange. I'm not going to use that. And I go to the scientist after completing those 2 quests, and he gives me the HM Flash, which will be very needed to get through the tunnel later on near Celadon City. I then go finally fight Brock. This time things go totally different. With Vesper and my Paris leading the way, and my Clefairy leading the way, I managed to defeat Brock, earning the Boulder Badge and getting Rock Throw. He also hands me a special ticket, which I go up on the Pokemon Center to trade in. Well, this allows you to basically trade Pokemon all over the internet, and if you use the special ticket you get from the gym leaders, you can get especially rare Pokemon. So that's what I do. I get rid of my Pineco to trade off, only to get an Abomination in exchange. Yeah. Well, next time we're going to Mount Moon and see if I fare even better than here. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If you have, I do have links to the Discord server to get this game if you're interested in playing it. Also, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel below and hit the bell icon. If you want to see me live play this, I do live streams on Twitch. All that is linked in the description down below. And I hope to catch you next time. Ciao.